Says I'm alive. I'm alive. Hello, everybody. This is Becky, Aunt Beck's Creations. And we're going to just do some journal inserts for little journals until Scott gets here. And then I'm going to sign off. But I just wanted to come on and do something with you guys. And we'll just play and we'll figure out some different pockets and different things to make. So if you have plain cards, that's really what you want to use for what I'm going to do. I'm going to use craft cardstock. This is going to, hi Candy, hi Kathy, hi Teresa. This is going to tie into what Ann and I are doing together for Mary's Hop on Friday. Ann and I decided to team up, and she's going to start a project, and I'm going to continue it on Friday. So for an hour, you'll be doing the same thing. But I do want to kind of tell you what you'll need to play along. You're going to need some 12 by 12 cardstock. It can be any color. And I don't know why my camera is doing that because I turned autofocus off, I thought. Let me check real quick. Because I don't like it going in and out like that. Refresh. Okay, let's see if it'll hold. So to have on hand, hi Joy, for what Ann and I are going to do Friday, you need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, okay? That'll just get you started. Well as the 12 by 12 paper, you're going to need a paper pad of your choice. The theme of the hop is travel, but you can use whatever you have. But the theme is travel. So you'll need some decorative paper. Now you can use scrapbook paper, like the big pads that we get for $5 occasionally at Michael's. You can have something like this. You can use your own handmade painty papers. And since it's a travel theme, if you wanted to, you could use maps. Like if you are traveling somewhere and you go by one of those welcome centers, you could pull some things out of their pockets and use that for your paper if you're going to do the travel theme. But I'm just saying that if you didn't want to do travel theme, you can, paper, a pad of paper. And then you'll need some brads, an edge punch, a corner rounder, some glue, and double-sided tape. And I think that's about all you will need to play around along with us on Friday. Ann and I follow each other. Ann comes on first, and then I come on second in the afternoon time. So the main thing you absolutely need is 12 by 12 cardstock. Now, if you've got decorative paper that's really thick, you might not want to use cardstock. I just like to use cardstock. And that's all I'm going to tell you about Friday because Ann and I have to have some mystery. Okay? So let's make just some journaling inserts, just random journaling inserts to go into things. I thought I would start with making a little paper pad like this. You can alter this to any size that you want. I've used some thrifted graph paper as well as some, what do they call this? Ruled paper. And I just made a little paper pad. So it's got some graph paper, some of the ruled paper. And so let's make this one first, okay? So you need a piece to make one this size. You'll need an 8 3/4 by 2 3/4 base, okay? I'm going to go ahead and make another one. If you don't want to make one quite this tall, if you are doing a shorter journal, just make it shorter. That's all there is to it. So I've got a piece of scrap right here. So I'm going to cut the 8 3/4 inch. Actually, you know what? Let's see if this is 2 3/4 inches wide. Of course, you can make it any size you want. I'm doing this for a reason. And then 8 3/4 inches. This is a little bit shorter, but pretend it's 8 3/4. All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to score 1 inch from the top or along the long way. So just score it 1 inch down. All right. I'm going to need that again. And then I'm going to do the decorative edge on the short end of this. And what you do on these that are I don't know if anybody knows how to use these or not, or if you'd like to know how to, you start in the center of the piece of paper, okay? And what I'm doing, bye honey, drive safe, please.
I will.
Greg's having to use our car because his is throwing an error message. So center it, go ahead and punch it, okay? Then where you've got your decoration, you line it up with the decoration on the punch. So like where these two are, you match them up to these two. And you just match them up and then punch again, and that rounds that out. And then you come to the other side of your punch. You got two next to each other. Put them over the picture on the punch and punch again. All right. I cut my paper, so I had to put a piece of masking tape. All right, then we're going to fold this over and burnish that good, which I thought I'd left my bone folder out. There's one in here. And burnish this down. And then on mine that I made, I rounded the bottom. Now, because this one is a little shorter, I'm going to have to measure again. But if you were making one the same size as this one, you would cut papers at 2.5 by 7.5. So these will still be 2.5 inches wide, but then I'm going to cut these to fit this. So about 7 1/4. So this one's a little bit shorter. And all I did is, what did I do with that paper pad? This is a thrifted notebook I picked out at the thing. Now I did a combination of ruled last time. I think I'm just going to pull off about 4 sheets of this. The first thing I did on my paper is I trimmed the border away because I wanted the graph paper to come all the way to the edges. All right. So, and I just leave it in a stack and then cut it. I hadn't thought about it. I don't know how much gas is in that car, but he doesn't have far to go. Hopefully he's got enough. If not, it'll go bing, 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 and he'll have to put some gas in it. All right. And then I'm going to cut it at the, what did I say, 7 1/4? Let me measure so I'm not making it too long. Yeah, because I want it to be a little bit short of the actual length. So this is 7.5. So I'm going to cut this at 7 1/4. And this stupid thing doesn't have a mark. So I'm going to get as close as I can. Now you could save these if you want, but I'm just tossing it. The horror. But these will work in any little handmade journal that you want to make. And these have to be 2.5, I think is what I said. So there's 2.5, and I've got enough here. I'm going to go ahead and cut another strip of 2.5. And the reason I came on early, we've got to go and help Scott's mom. She's a little confused on how to do her itemized payment for her this year's taxes, you know. So we got to go help her with that again. Yes, I have a trash can. I have so much stuff, I'm not going to hold on to it. Oh, and I rounded the bottom of this. I'm not going to round at the top, but I want to round my paper. And I found if I take about half of this stack, I can put it in my rounder and round the corners. And if you wanted and you had rubber stamps, you could maybe stamp each page with something. Like if you were going to use this when you were traveling and you wanted to know, have like a list of restaurants or a list of places that you stopped, or I don't know, what kinds of things do you like to save from trips? You could keep your mileage on here. All that kind of stuff. You could write down what kind of car you drove. Did you rent the car? All that kind of stuff could go in a little notepad like this. And then I put 3 staples in that other one, but I think 2 would hold it. And I kind of center it. Uh-oh. I have staples. Razzle dazzle. I got another stapler, so I don't want too far. All right. So now we've made a pad. So I've got 2 pads made up. And this is just something you could make to stick in your journal. Now, I don't know how permanent you would want something like this. So you might want to just maybe make a pocket for the back part here to slide down in like a tag, and then have the paper on the outside. But you could just put tape or glue on this and glue it into your journal so it's permanent. And then you'd have your record right there that you could look back through the paper and all of that. Now the staples, how to address the staples. You can cover them with just a little strip of your decorated paper. Like a 1/2 inch strip across that, like that would cover that. Let's see if I've got a scrap that's about, hi Howard, about a 1/2 inch handy. They can't see you, honey. You love that? You do. He's rubbing his face on my chair. Well, like here's even some little pieces, little scraps. You could take and cover this up. That might actually work good. Let's see. I think I'm just going to tape it down and then cut the extra off. That'll work. Kendra! Hi, Kendra! I haven't seen you in a while. I'm so glad to see you. Hi, Janet Nash. And is Angie here? Is Angie still feeling poorly? Mary, I sent you a surprise, and it's not all going to come together. Amazon's offering free shipping, so I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to send Mary, and it'll be a hoot. So it'll dwindle in. Oh my goodness, full house today. Let's see. I said hi to Oh, there's Terry L. and Janet Nash and Mary and Kendra and Candy and Cheryl and I think Angie. Yep, Angie. Anybody else I miss? If I miss saying your name, thank you. Oh, Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Nana. Hi, Sheila. Nana Sheila. Welcome. This is awesome. I kind of like coming on in the afternoons. It's not always possible, but I really like kind of coming on earlier because then I can get off and y'all can go have dinner and watch TV and stuff. So if this 3:30 time is okay, and I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody's toes or not, it works good for me. So I might just bully on in and take it. Now, here I'm going to match it up on and just trim this off. So I'm through the goopy stickery stuff. And I think I'm going to get some rubber stamps out and just write notes. Somewhere here, I've got an alphabet. Scott had to be in at 8:30 this morning. Oh, where'd my little strip of paper go? Now I'm pulling a Mary. There we go. Hiding stuff on myself. Let's start with the end of the word first, because then you don't have to worry about if you run out of room. I won't need that again. Notes. It's notes. N-O-T-E. So I need E next, right? Is that right? Yeah, it's got to have the E or it'll be knots. That's right. This little stamp set came out of those. They used to be dollar bins at Michael's, but then it went to $1.50 and $2. Now I don't know if they even do it. You know, I've been over to the store I used to work at one time since we moved back down here. That's it. I took Stacy her Afghan I made her. And that's the last time I went over there. I'm only going to do a header on one of these because then you can decorate yours any old way you want. This is just one idea. Notes. There we go. And you guys, thanks, Mary. I had a very, very ill temper earlier today because, you know, it's been raining here for days and days and days. And code enforcement from the city came out and was giving me and the neighbor across the street and the neighbor above me all warnings about grass violations. I told her, I marched out there when she hung it on our mailbox, and I marched out there and I told her, I said, this is unfair. I said, it has been raining for days. There is no way I can mow the lawn when it's raining. And she said, well, my number's on there. I'd work with you. And I'm like, what is there to work of? I don't need a reminder. I know the grass needs to be mowed. I need a day with some sun. Can you order up a day with some sun? And it made me so mad. I went out and it was sunny this morning and the grass was still pretty wet. I mean, days of rain. And the sun had been up a while, so I started mowing and I got the front done. I figured if I could get the front done, that'd be awesome. And then the sun was still doing pretty good, and the back lawn stays wet longer. But I said, well, it's a little bit later. Maybe the sun is enough. So I hurried and I got the back lawn mowed too. And Yeah, I was pretty furious. I'm not one to get really mad, but that really PO'd me bad. And I marched out there and I ripped the thing up in front of her. I didn't care. I said, this is crazy. You should wait 2 or 3 days of no rain and then maybe give us. I can understand when it gets really high and there's weed seeds going everywhere. But this is ridiculous to come out the very day after it's because the sun is out. You're out here. But anyway, I'm going to calm down now. Let's play again. Let's make another one. So that's how to make a little notepad. You can adjust your size, of course, any way you want. The only tips I would give is you want to cut your paper that you attach to it about a 1/4 inch smaller than whatever base you create so that you have a little border around it. That's the only thing I'd say. So we're going to set these aside. So this is one idea for journal tuck-in is make your own paper pad. So there's that one. You know, when you're cutting something out, you always have some scraps. Let's use some of the scraps I had. So this started out at 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's this one right here. All right. So I'm going to tell you how to do this one. We'll set this aside and we're going to make another one of these. So we'll have 2 of those. So I'm going to cut a piece at the 8 1/4 by 2 1/4. 8 1/4 by 2 1/4. Do I have 8 1/4 on this piece before I cut a big old piece? Let's use this up first. 8 1/4. By 2 1/4. Is that right? 8 1/4. No, 4 1/4. 4 1/4. 2 1/4 would be a really dinky thing. All right. Then we'll get our scoreboard out. Now this one, when I created this one, I wanted the little decorative edge to kind of hang over the edge. Can you see that? How it hangs over? So it's a little bit longer than the width of this so that it hangs over, just so it's easier to open. So let's score this up. So on this one, we're going to score at 2 5/8. 2 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 5/8 and 5 3/8. And I've got a shadow again. Let me move my lamp. Ouch. It's getting dark because guess what? It's raining. Is that better? That you don't have a shadow now, except over here. Earth shapes. That's the best I can do with it. I don't want to get too much light in from the window because then I'll be all washed out. All right, so we've scored at 2 5/8, 5 3/8. And then you've got a section over here that's about 3 inches, I think, that's left. A little less than 3 inches. On this edge, we're going to do our decorative punch. And again, I'm trying to center it. And there are little marks on this side here. So I'm about at the 1, 2, 3rd mark out on each one of these. And then punch. And then do the whole line the 2 up and punch. And then line the 2 up on this side and punch. And then you'll always come out even. Okay? I'm not going to decorate these. I'm just creating these. These are just the bases. I did put that little decorative piece on there, but you can put mats on these if you wanted to you could put just a little piece. You could take like these ruled paper and maybe put a piece of it here with a piece of pretty paper underneath it. And then maybe you could get, if you had one of those, I don't have one of these mini printers like Gina Ahrens has, but she prints out these tiny little snapshots from her phone, and she's got that little portable printer. Those kind of pictures would be pretty in here. You can get small pictures printed at Walgreens. They'll do up wallet photos and that kind of stuff. Or if you have the availability to print your photos at home, and then just do them small. Or you could put a ticket stub on here or that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to give you ideas for things to tuck in to a journal. So this trifold with a decorative edge. So I've got 2 of those now. All right. So that's the trifold like that. That'll open sideways. Well, let's do one that's like a matchbook that opens long way. And these would hold full-size pictures, I think, or really close to it. So let's make one this big. And I'm pretty sure this starts as a 12-inch piece. Yep. So we got a couple of inserts like this. We've got our notepads. Just throwing out ideas of ways to add to a journal. So 12, this one's 12 by 3 5/8. So I need a strip of 3 5/8 off from a full piece of 12 by 12. So all I got to do is get the piece that I pulled out, 3 5/8. And of course you can make these any size you want. I just wanted to make copy of the one I've already made. All right. Since I've worked out the dimensions of it already. So this is more of like a matchbook type cover, but I'm not going to like tuck it in. I'm just going to have it where it folds down. Hi, Tip. You can't come up right now, honey. All right, now we need to score this one. You're going to score it 4.5. 4.5. No, Tip. No, go somewhere else. 4.5 and 9 1/4. 4.5 and 9 1/4. And then I'll move this out of the way. So it's just like that is how it came out of the scoreboard. And now we're going to, on this little short piece here, the little tab top or right here, it's the smallest section. We're going to do the whole decorative edge. If you don't have a decorative punch like this, you can use those scissors. I got rid of all my scissors because I found I never used them. Or if you have dies, edge dies, you could use an edge die. I don't think I have edge dies. No, Tick, you can't come up right now, honey. Go lay down. He's like, you pushed me. How dare you push me? He looks so insulted. All right, so now I've got 2 like that. And you could add your decorative paper to any or all of this. If you wanted to create some drama with your photos, you could do black cardstock mats, which is what I like to do on these. So maybe you could put a little piece of your notebook paper. This is too big, but you could cut it to fit up here, make it about a 1/4 inch smaller, so you have a little bit of paper. Let me go ahead and do this for you. Let me get another piece of notebook paper. I know I have some more here. It says I spent $197 at Amazon one time. Shh. It must have been at Christmas. This is just a scrap. So I'm going to make this 1/4 inch smaller than what I have here. So it's going to be 3 3/8 inch wide. 3 3/8 inch wide. What, honey? Oh, might get kicked off from here because of the weather. Oh, I'm seeing hi Mary. Hi Mary. And Riri. Hi Riri. So this one I'm going to do at 2 1/8. First I'll trim off where I tore this apart. And when your paper's real thin, if you start cutting, I'll show you. If you try to cut real thin paper on your cutter from the side, it will most likely just kind of gouge it out. So if you lift it up and get your knife so it's sticking into the middle of the paper and then cut, then you won't get that where it'll push it sometimes. I learned that from May May. May May made it. I haven't watched her in a long time. I don't know if she's still on YouTube or anything. So I'm going to stick that on there. I'm not worried about that red, the dividing line. You could almost use it. Wait, let's use this side. That's what I'll do. Tape. Somewhere. All right. Hi, Ray. Ray, I saw you won at Dee Dee's earlier. Congratulations. I had been out on and I came in and Dee Dee was doing the giveaway and I said, yay, just in time. I probably won't win, but I'm here. I had left her playing while I went out to mow. All right. And then down here, because I figured this could be like the description of what these two pictures are. So I'm going to put mats on here. So this mat needs to be 3 3/8. I'll write it on here. 3 3/8 by 4 1/2. Did I figure that right? Let me look at it again. Want it 1/4 inch smaller than what I have. Yep. And then down here, that'll be the 3 3/8 by 4 1/4. Because this section's slightly smaller than that section, so it'll fold together. Now, let me finish that step and I'll tell you something else that I do. If you were going to give something, like you were making a journal and you were going to give it to somebody as a gift, what I like to do, this is a nice piece right here, is take a Post-it, just a little Post-it, and put it on the mat and write the dimension that's 1/4 inch smaller than the mat so that they know how big their picture needs to be trimmed to. I find that works really, really well for people. So let's do the 4 1/2 and a 4 1/4. And this is 3 3/8. So that one would go there. And this is the 4 1/2 by 3 3 3/8. Tippy wants me to hold him because it's thundering. That's what the problem is. All right, we'll pull this back over, and I'm going to attach these to this in here. Now, this also makes a nice way to send photos to grandparents or something, you know, somebody that doesn't see like your kids or your pets or any of that, and you want to tuck it in. You could do a little photo book like this. It would just hold a couple pictures, and you could write who it is and how old they are and that kind of stuff. And then decorate the outside of it any old way you want. I just want to share as much as I can before Scott gets here, because I promised I would go with him. I have to translate between him and his mother because Scott is so soft-spoken she can't hear him. So that's why he's like, can you do it? And I'm like, no, she's your mother. Well, she can't understand me. And I said, I'll go with you. All right, so I'm going to put these on, and I'll do my little trick where I only take the tape off part way. And I learned that from one of the card making ladies. I think it was Christina Werner. I love Christina Werner. She's a cat lover too. So I'm going to put this on here. If you wanted to round the corners, you could, but I'm not rounding on this piece. And remember, it's supposed to have about 1/8 of an inch exposed all the way around it. No tipping. Then you pull your tape out and push in the middle like that. Oh, May is still on. Good, good. I got unsubbed from her. I don't remember if I did it or if YouTube did it, but I can't keep up with everybody anymore. I'm subscribed to maybe too many people at once. She has a lot of really good ideas, though. May does. And she's as sweet as she can be. All right. So now, like, if I was going to send a blank journal with just this in it, I would get some Post-its. Get away, Tippy. I'm not going to feed you. It's not bedtime. I know it's dark, but it's not bedtime. So I would say, I'm going to write in black so it's easy to see. Photo size. So on this one, it would be 3 1/8 by 4 1/4 inches. And then you take that and you put it just like that, because they can just peel that off. Do photo size. 3 1/8 inch by 4 for this one. Like that. And then you could just fold them up, fold that down, and then you could decorate the outside any way you wanted to. All right, so that's 2 like that, and 2 trifolds like this, and 2 notepads. All right, so now, yes, there are a lot to keep up with. And then I'm trying to do Dee Dee's Society for Creative Anachronism. I try to do this project, that project. Before I know it, there's more projects than I have time in the day. I wanted to also show how to do a couple different pockets that you could then in turn attach to a page. So let's just do Did that. All right. So, okay. So we're going to do a squarish size. Excuse me. 4 1/4 inch. Let's see. Is this big enough? Well, it's 4 1/4 by 4. So let's cut the 4 1/4 this way because I'll have more space. So you're starting with a 4 1/4. All right. This is a simple pocket, real simple. So line the way it's the longest, the 4 1/4 here. And what we're going to do, but it's inside here. I want to score at a 1/2 inch. I like to have a good amount here. And then I'm going to turn the whole thing around all the way and do a 1/2 inch again. And then I want to turn 90 degrees and do a 1/2 inch again. So only on 3 sides, okay? And we'll move this out of the way. I'm getting my activity today. Picking it up, putting it down. All right, I'm going to go ahead, fold your score lines. All right. And then we're going to, the little teeny squares right here, we're going to cut those away. But when you cut them away, don't follow the score line. Create like a little tab, but cut only to the corner of the big square here. And do that like this. See how that's a little bit angled? And then you're going to do it at the top edge on this side. And do it the top edge on this side. Okay, so it's angled here and here. And then you got the square. And then you got to cut this square out the same way up to where the 2 score lines meet. Okay? All right. Fold your bottom up. And then fold your sides in just to see what you got. But you could do these any which way you want. We could have done it the other way. Whatever size pocket you need, that's what you do. Now I'm going to try to eyeball the center of this. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eyeball the center and just cut a little, about 1/3 of the circle away like that. All right. And then you just put your tape on the back on here. May have made this one backwards, but that's okay than what I did before. And then just leave your tape on there until you're ready to install it in your journal. If you make some pockets up ahead, then you can just stick these in your journal any way you want to. So like, let's say this is the journal. You would peel your tape off and just stick it down to the page, and then you have a pocket because you're going to leave the top open, and you stick the pocket, stick the tags or whatever I don't think I made these. Yeah, see, even that would fit down in there. So you could put your little trifolds in a pocket. You could do just a little notebook of just like when Mary sends artist trading cards, she was sending these little folders that she made. You could make some of those folder-like things that Mary makes and just stick them in there. Mary could, I think she showed us how she does her little pockets, her little folders. You know, you have to make it has to fold up at the bottom and then fold half, just like a folder that has pockets. So that would fit down in there cute. And then you could have places in there to stick stuff in those little pockets like Mary does. Ruth's here. Hi, Ruth. Hello. So this is one way to make a pocket. Now, say you want to make a pocket that's for the corner of a page. Let's do one together. And again, you can make these any size that you want to. Let's see what we've got. We'll just use this piece of scrap, and I'll tell you what it is, what it measures. Whoa, there goes all that paper down. The sky's looking really nasty, you guys. All right, so it's 4 by the 4 1/4-ish like measurement. You could take the time to make it perfectly square, but you don't have to. What you're going to do is on 2 sides, mark at 1/2 inch. So let's score at 1/2 inch on 2 sides. Okay. They got to be right next to each other. So you just turn it one to the next side. So you're making like the letter L. That's a good way to think about it. All right. Now, this would be better to do on the scoreboard, but it's harder to line up an odd shape than it is to line up a square. So I'm going to line my ruler right up with where that score line comes up and where it's here. And I'm going to just line those up because, you know, we always need a little pocket. And I think I've shared how to do this one before. I don't know if this is going to work because it's not perfectly square. Go ahead and fold that in. Yeah, see, it's not going to work because it's not a square. You have to have a square. All right, hold up. Toss that idea. Pay no attention to me. It has to be a square. So I'm going to do a 4 by 4. This will make a very small corner pocket, but you'll get the idea. Start with a square. Mark it 1/2 inch. And this time I can do it out here because I'm at 4 inches. And 1/2 inch. And then if you can eyeball it and line it up so you're on the same score line, if you have trouble doing that, line this up with your score line on the board and then slide your paper underneath it until you are meeting that score line and that score line. Oh, and it moved on me. I just want to make sure I'm in the same score line. I am not. There and there. And score and 1/2. See? Look right either. We're going to go with it. Fold it in half. And what happens is this should actually go in the middle. So put your corner to where the 2 score lines meet. This might be easier. And then just squish it. Squish it. That might be easier. Just stick the corner of your square into the 2 score lines. And then you can put some adhesive back here. Instead of trying to score it, just fold it so that the tip of it is in the tip of the pocket. And you don't have to go crazy with the adhesive on this. A couple pieces about this size of work. Okay, and then put this on there. And then fold your side score lines up. And you can see right here, you're going to have to trim that away so that you don't see that. But right now, we just want to fold these up. And if you wanted to, just turn it over and use the edge of the pocket as a guide and trim that away. And you could do the same on this other side. And trim this away. And then we got to do like we did before. Cut it at an angle and cut the little square out. And now you can put your tape, you can do this 2 ways. You can install this one 2 ways. You can do like we did on this pocket and just put your tape on the backs of the tabs like that. All right, and then you could attach it to the page. All right, but if you want a really nice finish before you decorate the next page in whatever journal, like if you're going to mat it, before you mat that next page or whatever, take your pocket, put your adhesive on the inside, and then you can fold it over and it makes a pocket there. See? And it's attached around the page, and then you're going to put your mat on top of that so it would hide your things, these, plus these would be on the other side. So you wouldn't be poking into them because this will go all the way to the corner. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So this is a little corner pocket. So you could make those to fit. A lot of how you install this is determined by, are you on a single paper or are you on the inside of something that you can't get to a corner? So surface mount would be really for an inside corner like that. Or if it's an outside corner, I would do it over the page just to give it added strength, and you won't have those tabs stuck in there. So that can be installed either way. This is like making your own large photo corner. So if you made these in a really small size, you could make your own, you know, the little photo corners that you can like slide a picture in under. You could make tiny ones if you wanted to go to that much trouble. So that's a corner pocket. And then there's this kind of pocket. And now a library pocket would just have the back on it. So to do that one, I would, let me think on how I would form that. Oh, I know what I'd do, I think. I just don't know the measurements. I've got it in my brain. So let's just do a random library pocket here. Let's do 3 3/4. 3 3/4. And then whatever this length is. This is about the 8 1/2, I think. 8 3/8. So this one, the way I'm thinking of doing it, I'm not allowing for tabs or anything. So this would be just kind of a fold and do. So if I come up, whoops, here it is, and say half of 8 is 4. Let's go to about 3 1/4 and just make a mark. And then fold that up. And now on this one, you could take this to your sewing machine and sew on either side. But before you did that, put a little half round punch kind of toward the middle or a third up. And then sew up along there. And I think I would round the edge. Sew up the edges, and then you could attach that to the page, and then you'd have another pocket. Or, you know what you could do? If, ooh, it's getting really crazy. Oh, I just remembered Bernie's outside. Hang on. So sorry, honey. I forgot all about you. I'll even let you clean up the kitty cat kibble. I'm so sorry. Come here. Hey, let's take your necklace off. Yeah, let's take your necklace off. Sorry, guys. I just totally forgot about her. I'm a bad dog mom. You could take this to your sewing machine and say you have your print, whatever you're going to do your mat, cut your mat for the for that page or whatever you're going to do. I'm trying to find one big enough. So you could take this to your sewing machine and just sew it to your mat and then install this in your journal. And it would be sewn down. And I think what I would do is I'd go ahead and sew all the way around there. If I had my old machine where I could get to it, I would sew this down just like that. I think that would be a really cool looking pocket. But you could also just, you know, put some tape on it. You might do that real quick. The thing about using tape on pockets is sometimes that tape gets exposed and whatever you stick in the pocket will stick to the glue and get torn or whatever. So if you really wanted to, you could put your tape on and then put just a tiny little bit of glue too, just inside the tape edge. Sorry, Bernie. Sorry, girl. Oh my goodness. Mama left you outside. Oh, you got a snuffle and everything. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's happy, she says. Say, I'm so happy. Mama got me in. All right, and then I can put this down, and because the tape is there, it'll hold it in place while that glue dries. And you got to let the glue dry before you stick something in the pocket. But then there's another pocket. So just think outside the box and start making pockets. and little, oh, you can make tags. You know, just make a tag. Cut your corners off, or if you've got, let me cut this one down just a little bit. I've got some, if you've got the fancy schmancy corner rounder thingamabobs, this one I've used so much, you can't even cut it, looks like. So I'm going to do this. Let's do 3 inches. 3-inch wide is a pretty good tag, isn't it? Maybe I can get two little tags out of this. I'm going to do 4-inch. So 3x4 little tags. That'll work. Hi, Bernie. Everybody was saying, hey, Bernadette. Uh-oh, that don't look right. I cut that wrong. It's only paper, right? So let's just do 1 tag. So you could do your fancy schmancy corner thingamabobber. I'm afraid I'm going to get kicked off from here because, see, it makes like a little tombstone-like cut. I've got a couple others. I'm just doing these so you can see that there's different kinds of punches to do. And you can make little tags. Put this here so you can see the different cuts. It's not looking like you can see very good. That one just, I like this one because it gives it a really nice finish. And I can't even tell you who made these. It says Patent P on them. I don't even know. I think this one was a Creative Memories. I think that's all I have as regular rounders. Now, of course, you can always do the whole, you know, cut a corner and then take that corner and put it in the opposite direction on the other side. I never have much luck doing this. Tanya's a pro at it, man. She can do it easy. And then just cut along that. And then you got a little tag like that. And then just punch a hole in them. We got to do some rearranging because all of the things I normally would just reach for are too far off. Let's see. What else can you do in a little journal? You can do waterfalls. Do y'all know how to do the waterfalls? Oh, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. These I'm putting a hole in. I guess I could put a bigger hole in it. Kind of waiting on Scott. Scott doesn't know Greg's taking his car. Our car, rather. Oh, well. So let's make some tags. What else can go? The waterfall is let's hope I have a piece. Let's see. So we're just going to call this our substrate. And I need to know the width of that because I want to make the waterfall slightly smaller. So this is 3.5. So let's cut a strip at 3 1/4. Three and a quarter. And how long is this here? 11 inches. All right. I'll just show you a few, but you'll get the idea of it. So I'm going to do this at 3.5. and cut several of these that are 3.5 by 3. Did I cut that one shorter? I did. I'm having trouble with numbers today. All right. This will just get you the idea of it. Because waterfalls are nothing big. Hey, Carol. I'm having a time of it. Let's see here. I'm going to score this at 3 inches, which is 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch. And then to create your waterfall, you're just going to take several of these and you just keep making them until you reach the bottom of your page. So say this is the page. Fold this over. Put your tape on the back. You're being sly. You're being sly. I saw you coming. Yep. I saw you. But they didn't see you being sneaky. Bernie's thirsty. She has water outside. She's drinking your water, Tippy. All right, I made this slightly narrower than the piece I have here. So I'm going to come down from the top about that same distance as I am from side to side and attach the first one, okay? Then you're going to lift this up, fold your tab over on this one, and you just keep making them. And of course, if you made these with black on the black, you could, it's Tippy. He wants me to hold him because he's scared. So then you take, here's your edge that's folded over with the tape on it. You're going to line this up with your previous row. But come down that same distance if you can. You know what I'm saying? Leave a little space because then it'll look like it's bordered too. Okay? And that's why they call it a waterfall, because it goes down and then you can push them up. So you technically could put a picture on the front and the back of each of these. But what I would do is I would do a picture, and then on here I'd put a little piece of notebook paper to write who's in the picture. Because more often than not, that's the information that you lose over time, is who's in the picture. So I try to find opportunities of ways to record that kind of thing. So yeah, I would just keep making this down until I got to right in he is, till you get to the bottom and you see they overlap. But you just keep going until you reach whatever length you want. And if you wanted to leave a little space toward the bottom, you could, and say the Crazy Family, or give it some kind of title for all of the pictures in the waterfall. But that's just another thing you can do for a journal. So I hope you guys had enjoyed that. That's about all I had planned, was to share some ideas of ways to add additional space in a journal. And, you know, there's a bunch of other ways. There is one person I will recommend to you guys for journaling ideas is Kathy Orta. It's Kathy Orta King now, I think. So, hey, Tippy. Are you scared? He says, yes, Mommy. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I will go longer next week, but I need to get off here and get ready to go with Scott. But yeah. Oh, before I go, tomorrow is Thursday, and there will be Craft and Chat in Ann Lars group on Facebook. You have to be a member of the group to get into the Craft and Chat, and we have so much fun. I will not be able to be there very much tomorrow, though, because I have to take Bernadette to the groomer at 11. So I'll have to leave at 11 because her appointment's at 11:30, or I might have to leave a little before that. But I can pop in and say hi and then come back. And usually we go all day. Ann and I didn't get off last Thursday until it was after 5 o'clock, you guys. So it's free to come and go as you please. Nothing's recorded. We just craft together and talk about all kinds of stuff and share ideas of things we might like to do videos on. That is an Ann Lars group. On Friday, we have the Hop coming up with Mary. It starts in the morning. Refresh my memory about what time. I think it's about 6 o'clock-ish, or maybe it's a little before. Mary begins it, and then it goes to Janet Nash, and then it runs on down through the regulars, and then we take a break, and we have more in the evening. And Ann and I will be doing our project in the middle of the evening slots. Yeah, Mary's going to get a schedule up. It will be on her community tab once she gets it up. And once she gets it up, I'll copy it and stick it on my community tab. Also, Fridays, I usually do my Craft and Chat at 10 o'clock in my group, but we'll just hold and wait until the break in the Hop. So it might be a little bit later to get into Aunt Beck's Creations Craft and Chat. But you guys, these groups, even if you are just a member of a group but would like to start a Craft and Chat, anybody can start a room. Anybody can start a room. And then you can invite people to come and craft with you. You do not have to wait for me or Ann or anybody else. You can create a room yourself and invite people to come. Sometimes when you create your room, be prepared that it might take some time for people to find you. And you can sit and craft on your own until somebody pops in. So, I can start at 10 o'clock on Friday? Okay. So I'll open my room at 10 o'clock on Friday. And again, we stay and stay and stay. We have our regulars. And I know Mary likes the Friday better than the Thursday because it's just easier for her. And I understand that. That's why I enjoy these rooms, because people can come and go as they please when they want to. Sometimes we expand on things that we've seen each other do. And, it would be a way to learn additional things from us without having to wait till next week. Just saying. But anyway, I think I've covered everything. Mary will be on last tomorrow night. Well, she comes on to start us back up, and then she comes in to round it out. And I am so looking forward to this. Ann and I have really had a lot of fun working together, which I think is an excellent idea if some of the hoppers are stuck, if they pair up with whoever's before or after them. This is just an idea. if they pair up with somebody before or after, maybe they can expand on each other when they're stuck for an idea. That's what Ann and I are doing. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I will be in Ann's as much as I can tomorrow. And that's it. Tippy needs a hug. Yes. And he wants another can of food, which he's not going to get right now. All right, guys. Thanks, guys. And I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your week. And the weekend is awesome. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.